Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the FetchQuest podcast, where we talk about video games and more. I'm your host for tonight, Brewer, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Guy.
Hey Brewer, before we start, I think we need to sweep up a little bit. I'm gonna be real, there's just a bunch of crap lying around here. I don't think it's very good for a recording.
Man, I really don't want to deal with that, though. If only there was a convenient Deus Ex Machina to solve this issue.
Wait, Brewer, do you hear that?
Man, who's singing right now? That dude is singing loud as hell as well.
Wait, Brewer, that dude who's singing, he's getting closer with some giant ball!
Oh no, it's coming right at us. Ah! Oh god, I think we survived somehow. Guy, you alright?
Oh, no.
Well, good enough, I guess. I suppose we could talk about that giant ball that almost killed us now. And that leads us into today's topic for today, Katamari Damacy. Probably one of the most unique games we have played. Would you say that, Guy?
Fuck you just ran us over.
Hey,
Ow.
It's for the love of Katamari.
Fuck, I can't deny that. Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't want to upset the king of all cosmos, would you, Guy? He's just so charismatic.
I guess you're right. You know what? For the love of Katamari, why not?
For the love of Katamari. But before we go too far in this video, since this is one of the more out there games and it is also kind of niche, I think we should. I'll give a quick little explanation on what Katamari Damacy is. So originally, Katamari Damacy was a series that started out on the PS2, and it was one of the more interesting titles. It's published by Bandai Namco, and basically what it involves is you have this ball called Katamari, and you control this little dude who rolls the ball around, and it can pick up objects that are about the same size or smaller than Katamari. Now the objects stick to it, and it gets bigger and bigger, and the goal of the game is to just make a Katamari as big as possible throughout each level. And it's really simple, but it goes absolutely wild just with the level design, the wacky visuals, and like the really, really catchy music. And on top of that, just has a really goofy story as well.
Yeah, no, this game is like, it does not take itself seriously, and I think that's for the best, because like the concept in and of itself is just so silly. Ha! He's so silly! He's so silly!
Hooray, Smiling Friends reference. But yeah, no, the game literally starts out with like your fuck-ass dad, because like you play as a prince, and then your dad, the king of all cosmos, who's just an absolutely hilarious doofus, because like every game he's in, he does something to like fuck up the galaxy or something, because he's super powerful, and then he like fucks up the galaxy by like doing a backflip or something and landing the wrong way.
He is the king of all cosmos, I'll have you know, so yeah, doing a backflip would probably like mess up the galaxy or something.
Yeah, and this game, he fucks up like the solar system and shit, and like all the stars. So he's like, damn, I fucked all this up, but I really don't feel like fixing it all. Let's have my tiny son, who's like an inch tall, fix everything for me.
He's gonna ruin the entire planet just so the cosmos can come back. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, through that, you were tasked with the mission of like basically fixing the King of all Cosmos' mess. So like making new stars. So you gotta roll up a lot of weird crap that's just lying around to make those stars, and that's the basic structure of the game.
Yeah. And like, even though it is a simple premise, I feel like it's just good at like getting you in and like just getting you with a silly concept, because like Brewer said, there are levels to this, and all of them are different and with different objectives. And usually, like this, it's the same objective of get it as big as possible, or get it as big as possible, or get it to a certain size within a time limit. And you do that by like basically exploring these levels that have like intricately like placed items that usually fit for the Katamari that you're supposed to have at that point. But basically the idea is that you're supposed to like observe your surroundings and try to figure out the best routes to make the biggest Katamari possible and get bigger and bigger items so that you can solve the puzzle of the level.
Oh yeah. No, and these levels too, like they have time limits, which I know can be scary, but the time limits do work well with the game because at first I was a little off put with it, and I think Guy was as well, but it was a very smart decision because I think the developers actually mentioned when they were testing during gameplay, the time limit really incentivizes you to just be as efficient as possible. And there are modes that take away the time limit, so if you just want to casually roll around, that's fun as well. But for the main story and just the main levels, you're just going to be trying to figure out the best route. Like, there's actually a lot of planning that goes into how you play Katamari, because you have to think of like, okay, I'll go to the left side of the room, I'll pick up all these little erasers, and then once I'm big enough, I can start picking up the pencils, and then I can start rolling up this annoying fucking cat that keeps smacking the Katamari to get super large and get out of the room. Which, all of what I said sounds like a fever dream, but that is actually just how you play the game.
No, that is like actually how it works, and I think like it also works to its benefit that you start remembering what the certain sizes of like objects are. So like this is really funny. I always remembered the size of humans. I think it was like 1.6 or 2 meters that you need your Katamari to be to start picking them up.
Oh yeah.
which is really funny out of context, but like they're really good to make like your Katamari bigger. And also like once you get to like 50 meters, and that's when you start like picking up like huge cars, and cars are also just like a really good way to make your Katamari bigger. And that kind of adds to like the strategy of it, because like for me at least, because I remembered like some of the requirements for these items to be picked up by my Katamari, I was able to strategize better. The game was forcing me to learn as it was going on, and it rewarded me for learning by remembering what the size requirements were for these objects, so I can create a better Katamari. It's a really cool system, actually. Like, it's simple yet complex in like the best way possible.
No, it really is, and it was pretty impressive for its time as well, because it was on the PS2, and it uses a crap ton of models. And the thing is, all the objects you pick up on a Katamari, if you like, let's say you're small and you get hit by a cat, those objects can be knocked off, so you do have to play a little carefully. But what's really neat is just how many objects there are in any given area, and it makes use of this low poly art style, which looks really pleasing, but they also like they just make everything look really goofy just to match the general like aesthetic of the game. And then on top of that, it's like the only way it was actually able to run as well, because I think the developer said some of the models they got, they literally just had a lot of students that were learning how to make this stuff. Like, they had to make some really simplistic models for like some assignments and stuff and use those in the game.
Wait, that's awesome.
No, it is awesome.
Yeah, because like I remember this point of like the PlayStation era as well, is that like developers started like messing around with like a level, because like the main appeal from the PlayStation 2, I was actually thinking about this today on a car ride home, is that like the PlayStation 2, like that era, one of the big defining things in terms of like a technological like advancement is like having levels not only that move with you, but also like the scale of levels just improved. And like some of the games that like I want to bring into example for this are Katamari Damacy, where the scale of the level is insane and that perspective changes with you as time goes on, which is really impressive for the PS2. You have games like God of War and God of War 2, where you had massive levels that would move and like be a part of the environment, like Chronos and God of War and God of War 2 is just like such a, I'm gonna be real, like a technologically advanced like figure for a game like that. And also Shadow of the Colossus is an amazing example of that, where the interactive levels are moving boss fights, which are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Shadow of the Colossus is fucking clunky as hell, but even with the remake, but it was still really impressive for its time.
Yeah, no, but like that's the thing, is that like some of these games, like God of War not as much, but like these games like used physics to like their advantage, and like the new like technology at the time to make it just like, I'm gonna be real, really impressive in terms of like what they could do at the time with like in terms of scale and like these levels. And like even today, like when I was playing through Katamari, I never really played a game like that in the sense of its scale, because I remember the final level in particular. You start off at like the size of like a little under a cow, I want to say, like with your Katamari, but by the end of the level, you're like reaching the atmosphere. Like it's crazy. And the thing is, I can see that like growth in perspective as time goes on, and I was just like, wow, like really no games do this. I'm really impressed that like not only did they make it work really well, but it's also just like very well paced.
Well,
As you can,
also,
it like yeah. You first, sorry.
I was gonna say too, like they had a really smart system for doing it because like obviously with that many items loaded in, like the game would have issues running, especially with all of them actually sticking to the Katamari. But what they do is just over time they'll be loading and unloading some stuff. So a lot of the stuff that sticks to your Katamari, once it gets to a certain size, the top layer of the Katamari, you can still knock some of that stuff off. But a lot of the items you collected before, you won't be able to knock them off then, because also naturally you'd have to be really bad at the game to keep knocking them off. So it's really smart in that way, just to manage that whole system and to still give you the fun and appeal of all the stuff you're collecting sticking to the Katamari, because it is funny having like 5 humans stuck on there, some random bear, and then like a taco stand all stuck on the Katamari all at once. But then on top of that, as you get bigger, it'll have this animation play where you like, it's like, oh, you've gotten so big now. What it's also doing is it's loading up all the new objects to match the size. And for some of the larger levels, it keeps gradually doing that until you get to the largest size possible.
I actually didn't know that. I knew about the unloading of the objects in the Katamari because I did spot that once. I didn't know that actually about the when it's like saying, "Oh, you're such a big boy." I didn't know about that actually.
Yeah, no, it's really smart. They did a lot of neat tricks, like kind of hide it, sort of like you know, we were talking about God of War earlier, but like God of War 2018 and like Ragnarok. A lot of those times when Kratos was having to like climb up those mountains and stuff, you wouldn't really notice, but they were using that to load, and that's why there wasn't any actual really loading screens. And a lot of times you wouldn't even notice as well, because along with the small button presses you were doing to move around, you were also talking to Atreus. So you didn't even think about it too much. Same for
That's just a
Katamari,
really smart way of
except
hiding it.
for... Yep. Same for Katamari, except you have the King of all Cosmos being like, "Ah, you're so good. Go roll up those 5 cats over there now." I'm definitely not on crack.
Roll up all of humanity for me, little prince. Do it. Hey, that's actually I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, no, again, the game made use of the technology it had at the time and just made something that was really solid. And the controls as well, like, they are a bit off-putting at first, but they work so well for like the purposes of the game.
See, okay, here's the thing. You said this to me when I first started playing the game. Like you were asking like how I think of it so far, and I'll say it's fun, but it's like my biggest like things right now is I'm not a fan of the controls, yada yada. And then you said to me you had the exact same issue, and then you just got used to it. And I agree. Like I think the controls, they're a little off-putting at first, but they work so well. Especially, it kind of goes into what I was saying earlier about how you just passively pick up stuff you passively pick up like random knowledge on the game as you play it, and I think the controls are one of it where it's like it just kind of flows naturally. I'll be real.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think because as well, the controls feeling a little wonky, I feel like it's supposed to be part of the charm of the game. Just because some of those levels, if the controls worked in like, let's say Mario 64 type of way of when you press one way with the analog stick, you just go in that way, and then you can move around the camera with the right stick. Well, not necessarily Mario 64 at that point, but you know what I mean. Just one stick platformer type of deal.
Yeah.
But if it worked that way, I feel like it would probably be a little too easy to control the Katamari, and it would make some of the positioning and like trying to control the speed of it just not as fun. Because also I feel like the way Katamari works, you use 2 sticks and you have to be pressing them both in the same way to move them, or you move them in some opposite directions to turn it. And while it does feel weird, I feel like they were thinking in the perspective of if like you're the prince and you're trying to push this big ass ball, like your hands are going up, you're pivoting around with your hands to try to rotate it, and then you're trying to make it roll back and forth by going up down on both control sticks to make it speed up and just blitz everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it feels wonky, but I feel like it's for a good reason. It adds to the fun of it, along with the time limit.
No, it definitely adds to it. And like I made this very cheesy thing when I said this very cheesy thing when I first beat the game, so I'm gonna say it now in the video. The game, I wasn't feeling it at first, and because in like a large part of it was the controls, but it grew on me as time went on. Haha.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I'm gonna order the King of All Cosmos to do a backflip on you now.
English major, by the way.
Yeah, we can tell, guy. We can tell.
I'm so glad.
I can tell all those years of studying have been put to good use.
Yes, they have. Damn straight. Oh god. But yeah, no, that like it is like it is weird. Like the controls, they are not normal. That is 100% true. Like there's no camera control. It's just more so like you use the analog sticks. If you move the left analog stick up, you're wanting to move to the right. And if you're wanting to move the right analog stick up, you're wanting to move left. It is wonky, but it works surprisingly well because they want you to be able to control the ball to the best of your ability. Especially since like the ball... Yeah.
It's gonna sound weird, but it feels like a slightly more advanced version of tank controls from like those old Resident Evil games.
No, no. I feel that actually. I can see that.
Except instead of one Leon, you're controlling two pieces of Leon ass.
Damn straight. I will say this. I also feel that the controls kind of add to it because like we were talking about the physics of the game earlier. The Katamari itself, like the ball, does have its own physics. Like it has inertia and everything, and that's just something you have to account for. And I feel like the controls just do a good job of like making sure you like reel yourself back in to make sure that it like works properly.
Oh yeah, especially like when you start rolling down a hill to try to pick up a lot of objects. You can try to go side to side to pick up more, but you're not going to really be able to make yourself go back the other way. You're just going to have to deal with that.
Yeah, no, but so you're supposed to like you're gonna have to deal with that, but like it's fine, honestly. Like it just adds to it, dude. It adds so much to it. Oh my god, and that also kind of like that's kind of a good transition point. The level design of this game just adds so much, like I want to say flavor and like not really replayability, but also just like a lot of like strategy for like later stuff. Because I know this also, again, going back to my point about what I'm saying, like you passively gain knowledge about how to play the game. Some of the levels in this game are like the same landscapes and whatnot. They do reuse some of the same landscapes, but with like bigger goals for you to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this game, it does it in this game's favor because they reorganize how a lot of the objects are in these levels. So you can't just do the exact same route over and over again. You basically explore the same area, but like with different objects. So you do have to approach it differently each time. But knowing that what the landscapes are and what they look like add so much in terms of what exactly you need to do and thinking about what you need to do. I love the levels in this game. I think they're so well designed.
You know what I think really adds to this as well?
What's up?
I think with the levels, something you'll notice is a lot of times, and this isn't every single level, mind you, but you'll start in a level, you'll notice is like, hey, this is the same level I was in before, but you already start out a little larger, and there's some objects that make it easy to get like to a way larger size way quicker than compared to the other ones. And then as you go through, it's like, oh crap, this whole new section opened up. And now I'm just rolling up the entirety of the other place. It's kind of that feeling of when like you fight a boss in like a Metroidvania game, and then it shows up as like a regular enemy that you take on later on. That's kind of what it feels like. Like now it feels satisfying is like this little house that you were struggling with. Now it doesn't even matter. Now you're just rolling up entire houses. So you're not even trying to roll up all the little parts in it. You're just rolling up the entire house now.
Yeah, no, I love that.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah. Dude, especially with like those early levels, because I really like some of the early levels because they take place inside of a house. But as you go on, you just start like getting bigger and bigger, and you start becoming like more of a presence in that house, and it gets to a point where like you eventually go outside the house and start like picking up people. But when you first start seeing like people, you start wondering, am I going to be able to pick them up? And then yeah, you eventually do. I don't know why. I think
Yeah.
I'm just obsessed with picking up people. I think it's just funny.
Top 10 Guy Thomas quotes. I'm
Real.
obsessed with picking up people.
I'm obsessed with picking up people for some reason. It's kind
maybe you
of
should just
funny.
maybe you should just be a pro wrestler.
Dude, true. Oh my god. Is that
Uh,
Hold on. I'm sorry, I was about to do a Zangief impression, but I'm not gonna even do that. I'm not even gonna attempt that. I'm
yeah,
making
no,
myself
don't
laugh
try.
too much.
You've already done enough tonight, Mr. English Major.
I took one of you! That's my impression.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that.
Up to
Something
you,
else
Lion!
completely unrelated to what Guy is saying that really adds to the game. I would have to say is the music. The music in this game is an absolute bop. Like, we have some of the themes playing right now, but like the whole soundtrack is just really catchy.
What's really funny about the soundtrack is that, like, I've known these songs by heart ever since I was, like, a kid, because so many of these songs have been used for YouTube poops and edits. It's so awesome. And, like, being able to hear them, like, from their source, it made me feel so good.
Oh yeah. No, especially because like nothing beats the feeling of like when your Katamari gets to decide where you can pick up houses or you can pick up people depending on the scale of the level, and then the music just starts ramping up. They start singing that na 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 na, and then you just blitzing through it.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. Dude, I was humming it the entire time because I just know it by heart. But that's just a testament to how iconic it is. Cause like, dude, it's so well paced. The music in that game is so good.
Oh yeah,
Which
no, I think
I would hope it'd be you first.
I was gonna say like I think it's really smart too because like it uses like this mix of just like a really cheerful chorus and then a lot of times like fast guitars and other instruments to like kind of match the wild action of the levels. But at the same time as well, that's not all that it has. Like this is a multi-headed beast. It's a hydra. Like it has multiple different facets to its music because it also has like these really quiet, melancholic songs that like fit the ambience of the game very well. Especially for some of the levels where maybe you're not rolling through as quickly, you're just picking up a couple different things to gradually gain in size. And I think it fits well for like just how weird of a game it is.
Well, yeah, because the music is so non-conventional too that like it fits the theme of the game.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just so
Like
damn
it's yeah,
catchy.
like it's good. I'm not saying that's bad. It's just like very like unconventional and like very I want to say it's weird but in like a good way and it's really catchy. Like again, I've known these songs for like most of my life. Like they're good. They've been used for stuff. They are very very good. And I'm just like it adds to it cuz like obviously you'd for a game like this, you'd expect the music to be at least catchy, especially since like most of the time you're just gonna be rolling up like polygon models the entire time. But yeah, no, they absolutely deliver on this. I'm honestly surprised just like how many songs I remember, like even ones I've never like really heard before, or at least are like not as much while playing this game. I still had such a good time like with the songs that like by the end of the level I would like hum the themes like by heart because like it's just they've been playing the entire time. I've been just having such a good time listening to them while playing.
Oh, definitely. I think the standouts is like obviously the intro song "Katamari on the Rocks." Like that crazy ass intro with like the King of All Cosmos playing a guitar and then like all those like crazy visuals. Like it's hard to get that out of your head. But then also like "Lonely Rolling Star" and "Roll Me In." I love those songs so much.
Oh, I just realized something.
What's that?
This game is a stoner's dream, dude.
No, it really is. Like again, we cannot properly explain in words just how crazy this game is. If you have not played it for yourself, please do, because it's usually very cheap to find on sale. And it's a classic. It's one of the most unique games I've ever played, and I think it's just a testament to what like passionate developers can do, because the developer behind the game just like he had a solid idea. He worked it into what eventually was Katamari. He made something great as well with like the sequel, We Love Katamari, to just go even further those ideas. And then the dude just dipped. Like there's a lot of other Katamari games after like those two, but and also a new one that's coming out pretty soon. But yeah, no, the dude just dipped because he felt like he could do everything he did with the games. and he didn't just want to keep dragging it out because he made Katamari on the basis of like wanting to just make something unique that the industry isn't like overdoing, and I can really respect him for that, you know.
No, like mad respect to him because like this is definitely a unique game. It's like like you said, it's one of the most unique games I've ever played as well. But also, it's just like it plays with like physics and like puzzle mechanics in such a unique way that like no other video game has really done before. That like I'll be honest, like I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more games like this, or at least more puzzle games like this, because like it's such a unique concept that works so well. Like obviously we have like other games that have like like ball-esque physics to them, like a Super Monkey Ball, but that's completely different. Like in terms of Katamari, like I'll be real, it's kind of one of its kind. I kind of wanted to stay like that because like it's so unique.
Yeah, no, Katamari, like, I don't really see any way for like a potential developer to like make something inspired off of it without just like outright copying a lot of what is already done. Because that's the thing. Like, we love Katamari, the game that came after this, and just OG Katamari Damacy itself. They're such unique titles, and they explored the ideas of the game so much that a lot of the games after it had a hard time ever living up to the originals, especially in reviews. Like, the games weren't bad, but a lot of times the reviewers would just say, "It's like, yeah, that was more Katamari." Because at that point, it kind of just felt like they were making just more new levels for the game instead of like new ideas.
What's like, okay, to be fair, like how exactly are you supposed to like expand ideas in terms of like from this base idea? It's just like roll ball, pick up things,
Hey,
do it
all I'm
till
gonna
you
say,
big enough.
because I've played We Love Katamari, and I know someday you're gonna do too, and hopefully you viewer do as well. We Love Katamari goes crazy. It has even more wacky ideas that somehow expand on the idea of rolling a ball around and picking up stuff.
Dude, I'm actually really excited to play Katamari because I really liked Katamari Damacy. The first one, I feel like I have to say that because the titles are so fucking weird that like
Yeah, no,
people are just
they're out there. They're out there. Is that like conventional naming numbers? Because even the newest one now, it's like Once Upon a Katamari. It's like, what does that mean?
like, what am I supposed to take away from that? Like, what, Jesus God,
Well, even the OG title, like, what the fuck is a Katamari? Like, it sounds like
what is a
calamari and like the
Damacy?
inks, but like, what the fuck is all this?
What the fuck is a Damacy?
Yeah, I think with that though, I do just want to get into some quick concluding thoughts about the game.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go first. Just overall, Katamari Damacy is one of the most unique games like I've ever played, and it probably is still one of the most unique games you can like find in like your game library. I would highly recommend it. It's a very short game. You can beat in like 3 hours, like 5 hours if you're doing some of the extra content, like some of the fun constellation levels that you just pick up one type of object, like picking up 50 cows or something.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, the music is a bop. The level design is so tight. It's a lot of fun. And like especially that final level, that is not something I can say many other games have ever really matched in terms of just pure childlike joy. And it's a crackhead's dream. So like if you ever wanted to know what crack felt like without actually ever taking crack, play Katamari Damacy, because it's probably the closest thing to it, besides maybe like
Why
LCD
do you
Dream
know
Emulator.
this? Why do you know this?
I don't know. Yeah. No, I haven't taken crack, but I'm just saying like this is probably the equivalent of it.
Oh my god.
And I should be asking that. You're the one who first brought up the thing about this being a crackhead's dream.
Did I say crackhead or... It doesn't matter. Point is, this game is fucking insane.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no. Getting into like my final points. Yeah, no. I played this game really recently, and I just gotta say, like, I was really impressed with what I saw. Like, obviously, it's a PS2 game. It isn't like the most technologically advanced game, but like for what it does, I think it does everything really well. They had ideas that they wanted to lay out that I think they did pretty well. As a puzzle game, I think it's just incredibly fun. It's unique. There's no other game I really played like it to its nature. I love the art style, the music. hell, the characters. I think the characters are just charming, even though there's really not that much to them. But yeah, no, I really want to explore more with this series because I think this first game really left a really good impression on me for what exactly like this series could be and what what it is. Because again, this is through the perspective of someone who's only played the first game, and if Brewer is true and we love Katamari, if we love Katamari is crazy, then all I'm gonna say, man, it might be peak. Who knows? Might be better than the first one. And the first one was already really good, so I'm really excited to see what it what it's going to be like. And also, I'm just going to say this right now. You said Smiling Friends reference earlier, and I got to say this right now. Silly Samuel looks like a Katamari. I'm going to be so real with everything that's just clumped together.
No, honestly, with all the random cousins that the prince has, Silly Samuel definitely looks like one of them because the cousin designs are like really out there for a lot of them.
Dude. Dude, I can't wait for the Smiling Friends interview when they announce that Silly Samuel is based off a Katamari character. That'd be awesome.
I feel like some aspects of the show, someone on the team has maybe played Katamari Damacy to just for all the weird shit that happens in that show as well.
Dude, there's so many references in that show. There just might be a Katamari. Wait a minute!
I mean, there was a giant ball that was rolling through town. The giant ball!
Yes, I was just about to say that. The Smiling Friends office literally rolled down the street like a Katamari.
Oh my god. I think with that, though, we maybe stretched it on a little bit and went into a little bit of a Smiling Friends rant. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Comment if you've played this game or maybe if you're interested in playing it just because of how wacky and unique it sounds. But with that, we've been the FetchQuest Podcast. Thank you very much for watching this video. I've been your host, Brewer, with my fellow co-host, Guy. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye!